Did you ever try to photograph animals with your smartphone and then figured out that you don't have enough zoom? Well, this could be the solution. Let's go. Let's head back in time for just a little bit and do the unboxing of this thing. This thing comes in this nice box with the nice labels, and I'm going to open this up for the first time, so I haven't actually seen what's inside and how this can be used. So we open this up. Inside we have, oh, that's nice, a nice, packaged travel bag, and in here we have, oh wow, this is the whole thing. So really amazing. So in here is the 5x-10x zoom telephoto, which has a few rings to be turned, and the clamp with which you clamp this thing onto your smartphone. So the way we set this up is, well, we clamp the clamp onto the smartphone and then align this circle here with the lens that we want to use. Now I'm going to go first with that 1x zoom because that's the best camera. That's going to give me the best camera quality. That's this middle camera over here. So I'm going to tighten this thing on with this screw. I think I can tighten it quite well because this is a plastic bracket. It's not going to damage my phone. And then we screw on the telephoto lens. Now what I'm speculating is that because the 1x zoom is really wide, I think it's 20mm focal length equivalent, it's going to have a vignette. So let's just turn my smartphone on. Yeah, and just as I suspected, there's a circle around it. I am using the camera expert, the pro camera app, so that I have full control. And this is now the 1x zoom, and as I can see, I have a whole bunch of issues. First of all, there's a circle, the screen is not full, and secondly, because much of the screen is blacked out, the auto exposure setting isn't working. It's trying to really overexpose, so I would have to really log this in. So let's just log the exposure on the tree. I'm also going to manually focus because this thing does have a focus ring, and we are now at, so this would be 5x zoom, this is the 10x zoom. And I don't know, let's take a 5x zoom photo. So I've shifted everything onto the telephoto lens and I choose the telephoto. Ooh, yeah, this is much better. Again, I'm gonna manually focus for this because I don't want my camera to, focus hunt, because I have a manual focus ring over here. And this is the 5x zoom, this is the 10x zoom. And as you can see, you have to adjust the focus, mid-flight. So let's take a 5x zoom photo of that tree line over there. Let's do a 10x zoom, and the shakiness is going to be really difficult. So the 10x zoom. Now if you want to make this thing work, you have to shoot with the fast enough shutter speed. Now my S, you can see it's 1/250th of a second. It would have to be 1/1000 for this zoom range to actually give me a non-blurry image. I'm going to manually select my shutter speed. I'm going to go 1/1000. This is going to be much better. And let's just focus on that tree. And this is an actually zoomed in image, like an optically zoomed in image. I haven't lost any resolution. So, interesting. Just make sure that the shutter speed is fast enough. So let's talk numbers for a moment of this Apexel telephoto lens. The focus range is from 1.5 meter to infinity. It has 10 glass elements in 6 groups, a multi-layer coating, and it's made from aluminium, so it's a really high quality build. And they say here that it fits 99% of all smartphones, so there's a really big probability that it will fit on yours as well. And because it comes in a nice case, it is really travel friendly. So let's talk about the good things of this Apexel telephoto lens. It is a really high quality build, the optics are really good, and you can get some really unique shots when you pair it with your smartphone. Plus, you can use it as that, monocular, I don't know if that's the right word, but just, it's easier to carry around than binoculars. Now the zoom and the focus rings feel kind of okay. The focus ring is really smooth, the zoom ring is a bit grindy, but it's okay. Now I've had lenses that had worse zoom rings, so it's not a big deal, but the focus ring is really smooth. And I do like the color scheme and the design of this. I think it actually looks good on a smartphone, even though at first I was a bit skeptical. what about the bad things? Well, the only really bad thing that I can think of is this is really zoomed in, so you will need a fast shutter speed in order to get a sharp image. Otherwise, things are just going to be blurry. And I think this could be really useful if you have your smartphone on a tripod where it's fixed instead of just holding it in the hands. But even the stabilization that the smartphone has, it's calibrated for the small lenses, you know, not for this really long tubular telephoto lens. Now, one thing that we can also try is to get kind of a zoomed in macro shot. I know this is not like pure macro because it's still zoomed in a lot, but you can get some really nice, macro looking photographs. And I am using the telephoto lens on the smartphone, and I did change the focus back to autofocus because I find that you just set roughly the focus and then the camera is going to find or fine tune the focus. So I think autofocus is useful with this lens. I'm still looking for birds to photograph. I think it's too hot for them to be outside. I hear them, but I don't see them. You know, I really suck at this bird photography thing. I mean, if you are a wildlife or a bird photographer, then you would probably do a much better job than what I'm doing with this. But no, I'm trying my best. You can also use this as a monoscope with this special attachment. You just screw it on, and now you can use this to view the world. And wow, okay, this is really cool. I mean, I have to say the optics on this look really, really amazing. So after playing with this Apexel telephoto lens for about 2 hours now, I do have some takes on how you can really use this really well. Now, if you put this on the telephoto lens, you will not get that vignette, but the picture quality is going to be lower. So it's best to put it on that 1x lens and then zoom in, like pinch to zoom. I have a 50 megapixel sensor in here, so I can pinch zoom to about 2x, and then I get rid of the vignette. And then I have the higher quality image with a zoom telephoto feature. So I find that to be the best thing. And about the autofocus. Now you can use the smartphone's autofocus in conjunction with this manual focus. You just have to make sure that the manual focal plane is around where the subject is, and then the autofocus on the smartphone will fine tune and really make the image pin sharp. Or you can just go to manual focus on the smartphone, focus to infinity or to some really far away distance, and then manually fine-tune the focus with the focus ring. But it's gonna be hard to really see, if the image is sharp or if it's just slightly sharp. So I find the combination with the autofocus to be much better. So this was my review of the Apexel 5x-10x lens for your smartphone, and you can also use it as a monoscope. I think it's a good product. I do recommend it if you're only photographing with smartphones and you want to extend the reach, zoom in more. So use the links down in the description and get yours. It's a really high quality product. So thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Hit the like button, consider subscribing, and if you want to stay on the channel, then, well, watch one of these two videos. Thank you, and I'll see you in one of these two.